Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and in this video we're talking about a really exciting pair of earbuds, or at least one that I've been waiting for a really long time. And this is the sequel to one of my all-time favorite pairs of earbuds, which were the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 2s. In this video, we have the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 3s. Now, before we get into the 3s, I want to talk very briefly about the 2s. For a while, they were my favorite pair of earbuds because they had really the best sound in my opinion. They ranked really high on the best premium earbuds video I made, on the best earbuds to buy in 2020, 2021, and now we finally have a sequel, which is, like I said, long awaited because even though I really liked the Momentum True Wireless 2s, they had their drawbacks. For one, they used a kind of antiquated connection style where you couldn't use just one earbud. You had to have both out of the case in order for them to work. Another thing is they didn't have wireless charging. They didn't have some other features that a lot of earbuds had, and so for those reasons, they kind of felt antiquated, but still had great sound. And now, with the Momentum True Wireless 3s, Sennheiser came out with a pair of earbuds that is better in almost all regards, making them a really strong candidate for my favorite pair of earbuds, and they made them cheaper. Instead of the massive $300 price tag on the 2s, these are $250, which I know is still definitely expensive, but we'll take any cut we can get on that price, especially because over time, they're likely to go on sale anyway. All right, and now, if you're not convinced on the $250 price tag, let's get into the sound. Now, the sound is really going to be probably the main reason anybody's buying these earbuds. In my opinion, they're probably the best sounding earbuds on the market right now, or at least Bluetooth wireless earbuds on the market right now, and I'm gonna explain kind of why that is. So Sennheiser now has 3 different levels of earbuds. They've got the CX, the CX Plus, and then they've got these, which definitely do sound better. These have a clean analytical sound profile, very detailed with honestly pretty amazing clarity. When you're listening to more complex songs with a lot of instruments, the depth in the instrument separation of these, in my opinion, really makes you understand why Sennheiser consistently ranks as one of the best sounding brands in wireless earbuds. Overall, a really natural sound to these, and listening to these is pleasant and enjoyable regardless of the genre, at least in my opinion. And of course, as always, Sennheiser has their unique sound signature, and for me personally, it's always been my favorite among wireless earbuds, as I said, but of course, everyone has their own preferences. So if you love extremely bass-heavy music, these still do deliver if you turn on the extra bass boost on the app. But I will admit that some people who are looking for just like massive bass distortion, like if that's what you want and you just go to the gym and you're listening to rap or EDM, these might not be like the best purchase for you, but in my opinion, these sound a lot more like what the artist would actually want the music to sound like. And of course, if you're listening to high fidelity audio files, you can make great use of the aptX or aptX adaptive codecs on here, especially if you're using like an Android phone, for example. But they also have SBC and AAC codecs that work well for iPhones and smart TVs or what other devices that you might want to use. But even if you're listening to something with a lower bit rate, for example, like Spotify, in my opinion, these will still give you an amazing listening experience thanks to their natural balance and pretty responsive drivers. So it makes your music sound really fun and lively while still giving you a lot of the high-end details. Again, great instrument separation, but these do tend to have a slight de-emphasis on the treble frequencies. You kind of have to listen hard for that. So I do like to boost the treble up by maybe a few decibels in the EQ. But like I said, really an impressive pair of earbuds, and as far as the sound goes, these are really quite amazing. Now, as far as the active noise cancellation goes, you guys might remember when the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 2s came out, I said they had one of the best ANCs in the industry. Now, at the time, the competition was a lot weaker, and as these aged, many other earbuds kind of passed these and became a lot stronger. But the new Momentum 3s here actually are substantially better. So I just did the classic test where I play some white noise on a speaker and I listen to at what level I can actually hear that. It's an imperfect test, but just for a relative idea of how strong the ANC is. On the old Momentum True Wireless 2s, which when they came out, I thought were among the best, I was able to hear it at about level 19 or level 20. And on these, which have an adaptive ANC, I wasn't able to hear that same sound until about level 23 or 24. So substantially more powerful and also a really nice clean active noise cancellation, but it is adaptive, so you don't really have to change the level. Wherever you are, it's going to kind of listen to what's around you and use basically less power if you're in a quieter environment. The anti-wind mode is also really nice if you're outside. A lot of the older models didn't have that, so I really like having that. But again, the ANC does a pretty decent job. The adjustable transparency mode is also really nice to have as well, although the play with music and pause music feature was a little bit confusing, but regardless, it was nice that we did have transparency on here. So with that being said, let's get into what's different about these, what the design, the sound, everything that you need to know about these. Like I said, there is a lot. It's really better in every single regard, but let's start off with just the basics right here. The case itself doesn't really look that different. And I'm gonna point out that's actually one of the first subtle drawbacks here. A lot of cases are smaller these days. I don't really feel like it's a drawback for me. Being like a male, I have larger pockets, but I could see like some women might have smaller pockets and not wanna carry this. That's gonna be a bit of a drawback. But I love the aesthetic of this one. They still have that nice premium fabric look all the way around the case. And now they actually have a third color. So they have a black one, a white one, and this is actually their gray one, so it's kind of the in-between color. Personally, I think all of them look really good. The charging is now on the front, and here's a big positive, it now has wireless charging. So you no longer have to plug this in and pick it up on your desk, and it's so much nicer when I take it out of my pocket, I get to my desk, I just set it on the wireless charging pad, and it feels like I'm never charging my earbuds. And then opening up the case, this is probably my favorite upgrade here. The earbuds themselves are substantially smaller. That was one of the big drawbacks of the original and the second generation Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless earbuds. They're just so massive, but these, not only are they physically smaller in just about every dimension, but they also have more rounded edges, so the overall aesthetic design gives you the illusion of being even smaller than they are. So I think that that was a massive improvement there, and plus, although you don't have that shiny exterior that we're used to seeing, I love how they kind of made it a little bit more subtle, a little bit more modern looking. So, you know, not everyone wants to have a shiny metal circle in their ear. Sometimes it's nice to have something really subtle like this. And looking at it, you'll notice that the exterior has a little bit of a ring, a little bit of a bump around that, which is another really big benefit. Like I said, the physical design of this really has been improved massively. This now has a wingtip on there, which is something that we haven't really seen in a lot of other earbuds since like the Galaxy Buds, really. A lot of them have been getting rid of that. But it's something I love to have because holding them in your ear with just a silicone tip, it works fine, but if your ears are sweaty or if you just, everybody has different shaped ears, right? Having a wingtip is another fit in there, another way to customize the fit so it stays in your ears even if you're working out, even if your ears are sweaty. Now we do have 4 different silicone actual ear tips themselves, and these have like a little foam piece on the inside, so you will want to make sure you're cleaning these, but it's kind of a nice way to get a solid seal in your ear so you get the best attenuation. You also get great isolation, so it's going to block a lot of sound around you without even turning on the active noise cancellation. Of course, we'll talk about the ANC later, but the physical design, again, lots and lots of positives. These also have mono mode now, so I can take out just one earbud at a time. It doesn't matter the left or the right, which is a great way to save battery or whatever you might be doing. If you just want one, maybe it's uncomfortable in your other ear. Great feature, I love having that. These do have, of course, autoplay and auto pause when you put them in your ear or take them out. The LED is on the inside, so no one else can see that, but you can still see when it's pairing or whatever it might be doing, the battery level, for example. And then really the last thing to mention on the physical design is that we still have the touchpads on the outside. Personally, I think these are easier to touch now. They're very, very responsive, and I haven't had any missed touches at all. It's perfect right on the outside. And of course, they check a lot of the standard boxes as well with an IPX4 water resistance rating, 7 hours of battery in the earbuds, 28 when you include the case, and of course, a 10-minute charge gives you 1 hour of listening. But let's get into something a little bit more interesting, the actual features that have been added to these earbuds. If you get the Sennheiser My Sound app, this actually has a lot of cool things in there. It's been redesigned. And so in here, of course, you have connections is the first thing, but although these don't allow you to connect to multiple devices at the same time, you can connect to them separately and then use the app to switch between them. So it's not quite perfect. You can't just seamlessly switch like you can with AirPods or Jabra earbuds, but it's kind of a close-ish second. On top of that, the app also gives you this really cool thing called sound zones. So sound zones, it's kind of exactly what it sounds like. You use the GPS on your phone to detect where you are and change the sound settings accordingly. So when you go to your office, when you go to the gym, when you're at home, you're probably going to have different sound settings you want, and you can automatically have those changed with your phone. And the equalizer, although it's a lot more intuitive now and they have the bass boost and the podcast mode as well, You can actually instead just go and do the sound check, which is going to kind of test your hearing and your frequencies and let you know what the best EQ is for you, so you can really find a custom sound for yourself. Of course, going down, we've got transparency and adaptive noise cancellation. That I'm going to actually test out and talk about in just a second. And really the last thing down here is customizing the touch control. So I always really liked how Sennheiser allows you to customize the touch controls really in depth, so you can actually customize pretty much any one, the single, the double, the triple press, or the press and hold, to do one of many different functions, including voice assistant, change ANC levels, power it on and off, play the previous track, next track, whatever it might be. There's a lot of functionality there. And again, the touch controls were really responsive and did a great job. These also have Bluetooth 5.2. So like I said before, that does allow you to use just one earbud at a time. And so really a pretty good connection there. And now let's get into a microphone test.
So this is what it sounds like if I were to be on a phone call with you using the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 3s. I'm in a studio environment, so this is going to sound probably as good as they can. But of course, the 3 microphones, really the benefit of having more per earbud is that when you're outside, it's windy and there's a louder noise around you, more ambient noise. They should be better at filtering out sound. So let's go out there and actually test it out. All right, so this is a microphone test. I'm outdoors. I'm in a park right now. There's a river right there that's flowing pretty loud. There's a bunch of traffic driving on a road right there. So honestly, it's hard for me to hear myself, but we'll see how good these microphones actually block out the sound. Leave a comment and let me know what you think of these.
So are these my new favorite earbuds that I'm going to wear every day now? I mean, it's hard to say. I've only been listening to these for about the past 5 days, but as far as the sound quality goes, I think without a doubt, these are my favorite sounding earbuds, at least right now. And the active noise cancellation does a great job. The new redesign was really much needed, so I think these have a really strong chance at being the best earbuds on the market for a more premium price tier. But of course, if you're looking for something a little bit cheaper, I've made videos about all different price categories from $100, $50. There's so many other earbuds out there, and the good news is the cheaper earbuds are getting better and better. So I'll link some of those videos down below if you guys are on a budget. If you want these, I'll have a link in the description as well. And if you enjoyed the video, consider liking and subscribing. I'm Mike O'Brien, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.